Hello everyone and welcome to the SEAEF Federation Championships 2021. I'm Seeker Strike and joining me is Winter. Winter, it's been a while since we've casted together. It was ESL 1...
More than 1 year ago.
Was it? Yeah, I was about to say, it was a little bit more than a year ago. Yeah, and it's nice to be back casting some more SEA Dota with you. I thought we were going to get to do some more Philippine Dota because I know you really like casting the Philippine teams. But
my favorite.
We've got a better one, actually. We've got the home team for you, Team Malaysia taking on Team Thailand. They're already in the draft, so without further ado, let's get right into game and see what we've got picked up so far.
Oh, there's a first pick, Undying. I think one of the heroes that you've been telling me, oh, if you want MMR, I think it was 3 months ago you were telling me, just pick Undying.
Yeah.
Just pick Undying, it's free MMR.
The hero, he's a little bit less strong now. They have nerfed him a bit, especially with the rise of the agility right-clickers, safe laners, right? Your tombstone hitters, essentially. So I don't think we're going to be seeing him necessarily in the offlane position, but I wouldn't be surprised to see him be run as a 4 or a 5. He's still a very strong lane support, one of the better ones. And this hero also synergizes really nicely with Puck, a hero that's going to be, you know, all about that early aggression. So you can really use that early levels in the tombstone to fight.
Yeah, the coil will hold down targets during the team fights for the tombstone. The old combo is like Undying with TA. With Puck, it's even better because of the coil. The coil got like some nerf, right, on the cooldown. Was it the recent one? Or I remember like Puck got nerfed quite a lot this patch too.
Yeah, Puck's been getting kind of nerfed. There's a couple patches. I think like DPC Season 2 in particular had like basically Puck every single game, Puck or Void Spirit, usually the both of them. But yeah, so the hero's a little bit less strong these days, but still, like I said, in the early game, we're going to be seeing used a lot here and paired up with this Undying to just really bring the fight to Team Malaysia. But they've got Willow. Willow is going to be one of these incredibly annoying heroes. You know, Puck actually has some difficulties getting around those brambles, especially if you're trying to juke with the E. I always forget the name of that one on Puck. You're going to end up getting caught by a bramble every single time. Brewmaster to take away a carry from the fights, and now Lion for the insta-hex, one of the classic counters to Puck.
I mean, Puck in general is still, I think it goes both ways. She's still very good against Dark Willow because of the silence and everything. The coil, and against the Brewmaster as well, you can lock him down and try to stop him from casting his ultimate during the team fights. But I felt like Dota right now is, a lot of these heroes, they suddenly feel strong because of all those small changes in the game, you know, like all those neutral items, and especially the addition of the shards. So sometimes when you feel like, oh, this hero, he didn't really get a buff, right? But suddenly, in this patch, he feels really, really strong because the game is getting faster and faster with all this addition of the shards, the neutral items. Certain heroes benefit a lot during a specific timing in the game because you get that item during the early game.
Yeah, very true. I'm a little bit surprised to see the Razor pick come out. I think it's going to be a safe lane Razor for Team Thailand, just something to really bully the Brewmaster out of lane. That's one of the solutions because Brewmaster these days, if it's going to, I mean, it's still the same patch, not much has changed. Basically, first item Ags, BKB sometimes, and then Refresher straight away in these team fights. So as long as you can delay, the longer you can delay that Ag Scepter timing for Brewmaster, the easier your fights are going to be. And then again, with the Tombstone at your back, that's what this draft is really all about here for Team Thailand.
I've seen the vessel build on Brewmaster like in some of my games in pubs, and I felt like sometimes it's really good because it synergizes really well with the Cinder Brew. You do a lot of damage. I think it's good if you get a good early laning phase and you can snowball and you can get the item early. It's actually pretty strong on you. But otherwise, I agree that most of the time you just need to get Aghanim, say, and if the enemy has a very burst heavy lineup and you're afraid that you can't get your ultimate off, sometimes you get a Aeon Disc. But but apart from that, it's just Ags and whatever your team needs after.
Yeah, I think perhaps I mean, you're right about the Urn. That's usually like the laning build. I think the lane's going to be just too difficult versus a Razor. I think you might consider a Vessel if this is an Undying offlane because he's just so incredibly tanky whenever he pops that ultimate.
It's a situational item, and most of the time you get it if you have a good lane. Otherwise, you don't really.
Exactly, but that's the problem. I don't think you're going to be having a good lane as this Brewmaster, so we're going to need some kind of recovery device. The good news, though, I would say for Team Malaysia right now is that you're not really too concerned about the push from Team Thailand. They can slow siege incredibly well because they have a Nyx and a Puck to zone you. Of course, Tombstone, and then a Razor's really scary to just approach. But as far as like the tower pushing, sieging early on, it's pretty weak, except for the Razor ultimate. So Team Malaysia, they are not too under the gun yet. I think they can still afford to go like something like this Riki. I think Diffusal is still the build here for Riki, as far as I know. Diffusal
going
early.
back to your point on tower damage, they can finish off their draft. If they want to play really fast, they can just finish off their draft with some tower damage hero like Leshrac, DP. That's banned now, DP, so there's still Leshrac because they, like you said, they only need a hero that has tower damage. Everything else is taken care of. Team fight, you have Undying Puck, Nyx sort of, and you have a lot of stuns with the Nyx
and the coil.
So that should be enough for your team. And Razor's gonna output some decent amount of damage, so you just need a hero that can kill buildings.
Yeah, I agree. I would like to see something to just... Riki, he's a really elusive hero, obviously permanent invisibility. But you only need the one stun on him, right? Right now, I think a lot of the heroes kind of struggle to find that initial stun onto Riki.
The thing is, Riki is very weak in team fights, that's why he's a very situational pick in a lot of occasions. You only pick him if it's like a really good last pick, and he's not a hero that you can pick up early and your draft... because your draft has to be built around him somewhat, because he doesn't provide you with stuns. He doesn't have much of a team fight, so your other heroes have to take care of it. And right now, it feels like he's really good against the Puck. That's what I can see. And the Nyx, the smoke screen, they are really good. It's really good against these two heroes. But apart from that, in the team fights, I'm not very sure how much can he accomplish in the team fights. He's going to be really relying on the Willow and the Brewmaster to control the enemy heroes for him to deal damage during the fights.
Yeah, the Razor's a bit of a concern. I wouldn't say he's necessarily bad or good versus Razor. You have your mobility spells as Riki.
Neutral pick, I think.
Right,
neutral.
exactly. But, if Razor does get some superior positioning and, for example, a Nyx stun connects onto you as Riki, like, you're out of the fight for good. And that's
but the thing with Riki as well, even though on paper you're good against Puck, but Puck is also good against you in the game with the call. The call stops you from moving around in the fights, and you can get focused down by the Razor. So that's also something that he has to be very careful of during the game. As a Riki, you don't really want to get BKB in most cases. You just want to be able to build your Diffusal, maybe build your Basher, Aghanim's, whatever you need in the game. Getting BKB is something that you really do not want to do in the game.
We'll see here as these last final picks come through. Malaysia considering maybe banning another mid laner here. You said that Lesh earlier, but they'll just ban the Jug instead. But there's the push.
Tower damage.
Tower damage. And immediately as well from Thailand, they kind of immediately knew what they wanted.
Lycan plus Puck is a classic. You call the enemy heroes, he runs in with his wolves. No more Necrobolt, just the wolves and the heroes.
And the Vlad's too now, right? Or sorry, the Helm too.
Yeah, the Helm. So they don't really have much of... I think they need a lot of deep push to deal with this, because there's going to be like a timing where I think 10-15 minutes, the Lycan's going to... If he has a good lane, he's going to take down all your tier 1 towers. And for Team Malaysia, your concern is, can you actually delay it enough for your Riki? Because if you get, let's say you get Battle Fury on Riki can deal with the Lycan pretty okay later. But to get to that point, you're going to need to survive the first 15 minutes. So you're going to need heroes that can clear out creep waves, push out the lanes, defend your towers. Apart from that, I don't see much you can do with the Riki early on. He's going to have to rely on his team to buy him that early 15 minutes, 20 minutes before he comes online.
I'm also a little bit scared of this Brewmaster pick as well, because I think he's very easily burstable. Normally, a lot of the times your offlaner, he clears ways for you to keep enemies off the tower. But his teamfight ultimate, especially early, is going to be so
they don't have
impactful.
safe also. So if he tries to defend a tower, sometimes when you play Brewmaster in these kind of situations where you can get bursts down easily, you have to preemptively pop your ultimate to defend the towers to buy time. And that's not something you want to, you want to be able to use the split right in their faces, getting kills, getting key disables with the Cyclone. But in this game, I feel like it might be a bit annoying for him because of the Puck especially. The Puck and Nyx, if they get the silence or the coil on him, with 2 stuns, he's going to die easily. Yeah,
exactly. And like we said, there's no saves. We have damage from range as well here. Lycan will gladly run into a smoke screen to kill a Brewmaster. Like, there's no saves. They're not really scared of him. I do like this Ember Spirit pick at least, because he is someone that can at least slight from trees and slow down the push. Pretty elusive. But even then, and actually, you know, the Flame Guard got a little bit of buffs, some pretty significant buffs actually. So his lane versus Puck is not too bad, at least for dealing with the magic damage. But again, they've got good catch for Ember too.
It's not gonna be the lane that's gonna be their main concern, you know. Even if he gets a good lane, Ember Spirit can die easily later in the game because there's Nyx with the Carapace. Again, the coil, you know, the coil is so good against the Riki and the Ember.
Well, we'll see. I mean, it sounds like you're going to be leaning a little bit more towards Team Thailand for this first game. Best of twos, by the way, so
it's easier to play their lineup for sure. And considering that the Brewmaster was first pick, so you kind of expect you're first facing a Brew, he's going to get countered, you know. You're not going to, you know, go into the game and feel like this Brew is going to do a lot because you're picking him early.
Something I think that's always really fun to look at as well is now that, I mean, it's been nighttime for a while before the Horn, but Puck and Earth Spirit, basically the two heroes that are always going to beat to the punch to this mid lane ward, and we see that being placed down here already. Team Malaysia smoking out of the base as they'll place their own high ground ward defensively, so a lot of vision control over this bottom power rune.
There's probably only one hero in the game that can be quicker than you.
As a Puck?
Yeah, if you're NP and you skill teleport.
Oh yeah, that is true actually. That's a good point.
Dude, that was something that sometimes teams would do. Like you want to scout all the lanes and then you pick an NP, because back then there was a lot of like lane swapping because the laning phase was so important that some teams would actually do that. Nowadays you definitely don't see that anymore. But yeah, it's something like that could be valuable if the laning phase becomes very, very important.
Yeah, I'm also a little bit surprised to see Team Malaysia commit both of their observer wards. Neither were scouted, by the way, but they've put both observer wards watching over the mid lane. So really, I mean, you said this mid lane's not the one to focus on, but for Team Malaysia, for now anyway, they want to have the vision advantage.
Yeah, the thing is because I mentioned that I favor the Thailand team's draft more, and they are more of a draft that's going to be really fast and they're going to be running at you. So for Team Malaysia, if the Ember doesn't get a good game, he doesn't have a good start because he's going to be the main hero that does stuff on the map. He needs to gank, he needs to defend towers, he needs to go catch. Everyone else is just going to be like, the Brew is going to just be, okay, I have my ulti, that's it. Same with the below. So Ember has to be this key piece, you know, to lock everything in place. If he's not having a good game, it's going to be tough.
There he goes with that Flame Guard level 1. They'll at least secure him the first range creep, so they'll go even there. But Puck with a pretty decent base right-click damage, especially for a range hero, 52. And then once he gets the null talismans up, that does start to hurt a bit more.
This matchup is actually a lot worse before because of the flame guard change. Because now you can actually withstand one illusionary orb and you can still clear up the wave. So it's not as bad as before. And you see the top lane, the supports are just about body blocking all the camps right now. Just standard stuff going on in the laning phase here. Doing some trades, and like you said, the Razor is going to have a good time against the Riki in the lane. So far has 4 last hits to the 3 of the Riki. He has to use his Blink Strike to get last hits at this point.
Yeah, I mean, but for the range creep, right, that's going to be ever so valuable. Can't afford to miss that. The support's just kind of sparring for now. And down bottom, you know, it's going to be Boom Bui doing just undying things onto this Brewmaster. I mean,
your favorite things in the game, undying things, yeah?
Just undying things. I mean, the hero is absolutely ridiculous in the early game, especially versus a strength hero.
Yeah, strength hero. Oh, it was way worse before when they had the bonus of the strength. Yeah. That was a long time ago, but still annoying right now.
Radiant's courier has been
I was going to lose his courier at least. That's kind of a big deal. It had the stick on it and some observer wards.
Yeah. But on paper right now, so I think the top and bottom lane should go to the Radiant's favor, to the Thailand team, and mid lane should be a, I guess, 50-50 lane based on how things are going here. So if nothing changes here in the early game, I think Thailand team will be pretty happy with how the lanes are going.
Hard to fight the Puck for control of the runes, even if you do have the double wards up with Illusory Orb always having that mobility advantage, at least before level 6. Clarity still finds 1 though, and again, level 2 Flame Guard already, so pretty easily able to withstand now the magic damage output of this Puck, at least for now. His top lane, Yaps going down, Razor diving that tower, will find first blood there. Stone couldn't come out just in time.
Oh, free courier.
Yeah, that is a nice one as well.
That's what we call a buy one, free one.
it's usually Malaysian favorites, but Team Thailand right now they'll settle for it as well.
And you've been here long enough, you know.
Yes, I have. Yes, I have. Yeah, we're casting the Team Malaysia match from KL currently, so that's you know, we've got a bit of experience with that for sure. Careful down bottom, Brewmaster. 8 strength missing is quite a bit. He's at least got this magic wand, so he'll be a-okay for now, but really getting zoned away from the lane.
Sad lane for the Brew. The only thing they can do is just pull the wave. That's it. They can't really attempt to pressure the Lycan too much. The Undying is just too hard for them to deal with.
Yeah, and all he has really right now, Winter, is just this Ring of Protection. His spells alone are just this strong.
Yeah. And the Lycans are constantly sending his wolves to help out the Undying too, so it's very, very hard for them to trade. Yes, Decay and the wolves.
Oh, well that actually might end. No, it's not actually. He uses the heal bomb aggressively, and he might just be able to walk away. No, they just catch vision of him behind the tree.
That's
Down
fine.
he will
You
go.
pretty much wanted to die anyway if you're the Undying there.
Yestro, top lane, might be in for a spot of trouble. We have an Impale at the ready. It's going to miss, though. Fairy Fire comes through, and there's going to be that stick coming off of cooldown. Healing Salve courtesy of the Lion, and that's a big miss, I would say, for Team Thailand.
Fancy footwork.
Yeah.
I mean, the Razor is still having a good old time on top. Ricky's actually doing far better than I expected. He's 16 to the Razor's 19 on last hits right now, so I think he's fairly happy with how the lane is going about for him. This matchup.
Bottom briefly, Undying nearby here to help out his Lycan. Be a-okay here. A little bit more of the decay stacks. Mid lane, that's going to be a bit of sparring, but really the action is top as Lion once again will end up falling here. Static Link of Razor proving to be a little bit too strong for him. Oh, this is a very ambitious move up from Yestro. He's not going to end up getting this kill here, thanks mostly in part to the creep wave. Very ambitious there, Winter.
Is that another buy one free one for the Razor?
That one was, yes, indeed. Yeah, they've got the coupon book. You know, they're all good to go. Their membership card already platinum levels. There's a smoke gank mid lane. Clarity's immediately going to break it, but the support's wrapping around. They're going to try and catch Puck before she gets 6.
They need the Lion to go in first with the Hex. Or maybe the stun, but I think it'd be easier if they get the Hex off here.
They're going to know. They should know that there's, missings abound as Puck kind of knew. But so the issue there, Winter, was they let the creeps hit the top tower, and by then they knew Lion was not top anymore. So Puck just has to play a little bit easy there. That was really well done. Although they'll still find him. There's a stun. Clarity coming in. Is level 6. Has a Spirit Bomb. As out comes the ultimate from the Puck. Nice footwork there. As they will send out at least the Ember Remnants, Flame Remnant, but they're not going to end up jumping to it. A bit too risky.
Yeah, too risky. High risk, low reward play there. It kind of felt like when they did the smoke and the smoke didn't happen, and they were kind of like still desperate to get that kill, or DD here on the Undying, punching this Willow away, but he's not going to be able to get the kill on his own. He's just going to try to steal the bounty rune here. That's good play.
Yeah, but he is going to prevent reinforcements coming from this bottom tower. Lycan, with this 5-minute wagon, is going to be able to do quite a number here to this bottom tier 1 tower.
Does he have the helm already?
He might actually. Yeah, it's on the way.
You kind of want to time it with, if possible, with the catapult wave. If you can get it during the first catapult wave, that would be great. But still, he's incredibly farm right now. He has a very, very good laning phase, and Puck has called 20 seconds, so we'll have to see whether he tries to move around in a bit.
There is. We'll see, though. But right now, the movement's coming from Team Malaysia as they are going to go top lane. Smoke will break. Hex is through onto Masa with Kuka as well, setting up the Brambles right on top. Riki to close the gap. Masa proving to be a bit too tanky. 4 stick charges, now 5 in the Fairy Fire, keeping him alive. There's a Tombstone to be dropped, but Masa, he's alive just on a hair of HP, and in fact, it looks like they're going to turn and find this kill onto the Dark Willow.
He's so rich, man.
Ooh.
He had 13k HP with the Falcon Blade and Strength Threads on.
Yep. Fairy Fire and 5 or 6 wand charges there, really making the difference.
Yeah, this is all because of winning the lanes, you know. Like I said earlier, Thailand team had advantage in top lane and bot lane, and you know it translates to extra items, you know, at the 7-minute mark.
Yeah, now the issue is really becoming that's 2 now rotations you made with both of your supports for Team Malaysia that have, in fact, gone
I mean, that's
worse.
normal because you are losing your lanes, and you as a support, you feel like, oh, I have to do something elsewhere.
Of
because
course.
my lanes are not working.
Of course, but they've, if anything, they've just fed another kill to the puck and now another one to the Razor.
Yeah.
Right? You know, I think it would be better if at least you booted him from the lane and stopped him from farming, but you haven't managed to even do that.
Yeah, and because the Brew is still not level 6, there's no one else for them to play with. They can only go mid or top.
Here it is, 8-minute power rune will spawn. Willow just kind of walking in and taking it as Q will stun up 2. Nice double impale as well off the back of the Carapace. That'll drop a coil here to try and save the life of the Nyx Assassin as Puck will jump onto both the supports. Will eat the Hex instead though into the Earth Spike stun. There's a little bit of mobility left here for our Puck, but it's only a level 1 phase shift. Good enough at least for the kill onto the Lion, but they will be able to turn. And in fact, Riki is the one to join the fight here, Winter.
Yeah, that's
with
what,
a double kill.
That's what he needs to do here. He has to try and help his team, you know. Because right now, oh, I hear a Lycan ultimate.
Oh yeah, there's going to be the slow. They're ready there on the Remnant. As Clarity, he's got absolutely nowhere to go. He's going to end up right next to this Lycan. They won't be able to save him despite a nice Brambles. There's going to be the first primal split of the game here. As the lift onto the Lycan will stop him from running for now. Miestro still showing up to fight, but only with power treads really to do some damage, as Kuga will get dived underneath his tier 2 tower. The Lycan summons. Miestro now in a bit of a rough spot, just being 1v1 here by this level 4 Undying, and now the Puck respawning. We'll be able to pick up the kill there. Masa continuing to zone away reinforcements from helping out his Riki. And that's Team Thailand striking back pretty hard in the mid lane. I don't think they're done yet. Ooh, that's a bit of a risky dive though, especially with the Ember now respawning.
Well, Undying.
Yeah, Stomp is going to miss, but it's good at least to force back the Ember, potentially save the life
They
of
don't
the
have
Undying.
split though. I don't think they should be trying to contest this.
They're going to try anyway. They at least dodged the coil there. Clarity with some nice footwork on the Sleight of Chains. Mirdu just continuing to tank damage. Everyone is here right now in the mid lane trying to get this tower. Level 4 Undying, stunned up there by the Earth Spike from the high ground. He will end up dropping to the Riki as they do pick up the Lion in the meantime. That's 2 kills then for the Puck, as now both supports out of the fight for Team Malaysia. Stun once again juked by Clarity there, finds Miestro. But the team fight already kind of falling apart for Malaysia as they've dropped now their 3, 4, and 5 respectively. On the chase goes Team Thailand as Clarity has at least a Remnant ready to go somewhere. The stun is going to find him this time. And a secondary stun from the Centaur Conqueror. He will fall. Silence out from Riki, prevented him from doing anything. And in fact, he attacks the Nyx Assassin. Spike Carapace active. So he's going to end up dropping. That's a full team wipe here in favor of Team Thailand. And they're still fighting, Winter. This Lion looks like he's going to take a second death here as the Wolves will be able to just nibble at his heels and take him down.
I mean, the game is just going way too fast for them, but instead of trying to stall and delay, they were just trying to match the Radiant team's tempo and timing, and that was just not working out for them. I mean, I could understand if you do it with the primal split, but if you don't have the split, I feel like you don't really have anything, you know, if you don't have a split. It's too difficult for them to fight.
It's just such a problem because even if the Ember can clear waves and slow them down, we saw how aggressive Team Thailand was there. Someone needed to back them up, and it looks like they're going to find another kill here onto our Brewmaster. Impale will find him, Centaur Conqueror to follow up, even dropping this Tombstone level 3 here just to make sure they get that kill. The neutral Conqueror even helping out.
Why not, you know, farm the camps?
Yeah.
You know, it's not every day you get to farm camps with Undying.
So it looks like Razor then is going to be the target. He did TP down bottom to relieve some pressure. And just good lane management as well here by Team Thailand, right? Bot lane was pushing in. They save it from the tower. Mid lane was pushing in. They send the Lycan Wolves on over to make sure that the tower doesn't take free damage. And Team Thailand right now, they'll look top lane for their second tier 1 of the game.
Yeah, I mean, as the game progresses, when the Puck eventually gets the travels, he should be the one doing the dirty work, you know, defending the dead lanes instead of the Razor. But for now, if the Razor goes down, he has to be careful, you know. Even though he's tanky, I think with strength threats, he has around 1700 HP. But he can still die, you know, if he's alone down there.
Yep, yeah, very true. Couple TPs not coming from Team Thailand. I believe we have no.
Yeah,
no
don't give your towers when you're winning the game.
Yeah, no Tombstone available though, so it's gonna have to be up
the
to the Nyx Assassin to try and catch someone. Nice little blink, 2 blink strikes out. We do have a primal split. It'll get off as well as they're gonna look to set up for a kill onto the Nyx. For now though, Boulder is gonna be hurled onto the Razor. Secondary stun courtesy of the Lion. Lots of damage coming through, and they will find themselves a kill. Lycan continuing to push up top as there's gonna be the lift onto the Puck. Coil did come through though, and that's gonna be snapped. ending the life of our Riki. Clarity continuing to fight as well, trying to want to be one the Undying, who did drop a tombstone. Mirdi trying to make quick work of that, but they've already lost now the Lion. Mirdi trying to go for the tombstone and finds himself, you know, in a bit of a tough fight there with the level 4 tombstone. Zombies quickly make quick work of him.
Yeah, and
one.
it's always a bait, you know, when you're trying to kill the Undying. He had 20 stick charges there, and they threw everything at him, and he didn't die.
No, he did not. He's Undying for a reason, isn't he? And I think, well, Willow, she's going to be allowed to live. For now, though, Puck is still on the run. Veil of Discord did connect, actually, as they threw out the Sleight of Chains. Clarity, ooh, but they were ready for him there.
Oh, nice
he got
catch.
off the Remnants, even managed to get himself off. Get stunned, rather, by that Carapace, and that is going to be enough time for another kill.
This game is going to be
Over
very over soon.
Yes, yes,
At
it
this
is.
rate.
It just, I mean, to go back to the one point that we've harped on already, Winter, just it feels like there's so much aggression from Team Thailand and no one to relieve that pressure here for Malaysia.
Yeah. Basically, with how the draft is set up, if you make those mistakes like the middle one, I think the middle one was the most severe.
Yeah.
The other problems were the laning phase problems. I'm not even going to talk about that because that's pointless. I just want to talk about when they can prolong the game. You know, if you can delay it with your primal split, get some pickoffs, push out the waves, that would be able to buy enough time for Riki to come online. But when the game is going like this, your Riki is not having enough space to farm, it's going to be very difficult for you.
Yeah, and even this Ancient Black Dragon in its nerf form still hits for about 250 damage.
Yeah,
so
I mean, the thing is, like I mentioned earlier, like how the game is changing right now because of all these small little changes with the shard, the items, and now with this Helm of Overlord, the game can be played at such a fast pace, you know. So if you don't have enough tools in your draft to deal with this kind of pushes, it becomes very difficult for you.
Oops, there's another big kill onto the Ember Spirit as they will find
Just a
him.
coil, you know, just a coil and you die. It's just very difficult to play Ember.
So what's explain this to me then, Winter. Like I see your point, but tell me, like, how does Riki not play into this? How can he not be played fast right now? Like, because this isn't a hero that can really look to fight early. We've seen him try already.
I think it's much more of his other heroes around him. You have to draft heroes that have enough wave clear team fight around him, and also maybe the other probable cause is because you are losing. You're in a situation where you're going to lose 2 lanes because of the draft. You know, you're expected to lose your top and bottom lane, and with that scenario in mind, it's going to be hard for your Riki already from the get-go to run around, because you want to run around. You don't really want to be just AFK farming with a Riki.
Oh, there they go, looking for the backliners once again, defending their towers. No need to lose it. They're going to miss out on the Riki, but oh, nice dodge there using the phase shift, but not enough damage there to get the Willow.
See how hard they're defending their towers, you know. Even with 200 HP, they still don't want to give up the tower.
This Ember Spirit could be in for a rough time. Flame Guard is active. We have now the creeps closing on in. My goodness, that damage, Winter. Didn't stand a chance. Immediately finished off.
I mean, Ember was picked when they already have Nyx and Puck. These are 2 of the heroes that could deal with Ember very well in the early game when Ember doesn't have BKB.
Yeah, Maestro, he's just trying to find farm, pardon me, just wherever he can desperately on this map. He's going to look bottom, but this Undying is going to be a little bit tough for him.
Can they kill him? Yeah, they can.
See, only 6 charges. Yeah, he will drop.
Not this time.
Mid lane, though, they are going to be losing a couple of heroes themselves as the coil is dropped, and following suit will be the Brewmaster. On top of that tier 2 tower, it looks like Team Thailand, nothing's really stopping them from going up high ground here, Winter.
Oh, the thing is, like right now, the game is played in a way where you have to be able to have a draft. When you open with a draft, you need to have flexible enough picks that if the enemy goes for this kind of lineup, you have to have the tools, you know, to deal with. You know, you can't go for 2 one-dimensional lineup that, oh, you're lacking in a lot of team fight, you're lacking in a lot of wave clear. That's what I feel about their lineup. You know, before they get all those key items, like heroes, they lack a lot of wave clear and team fight. They can't really deal with this Lycan running at them. Just a call with the tombstone, and they're all dead.
Okay, well, here's maybe a decent setup. Oh, no, I don't think so. They did at least
No one's dying, man.
Off. No one is dying. And in fact, it looks like Lion's going to be the first to go as everyone just pops the ulti, runs right back in onto the high ground. Both supports deleted.
Everyone's full HP, and Dying has a mech. He hasn't even popped the mech.
And that's already the primal split done. In fact, they catch the Ember Spirit. Do they have the damage in time? There is no coil for another 10 seconds, so by the grace of the cooldowns, he will live, but only just barely. And Team Malaysia basically already backs against the wall here.
Yeah, I don't think there's much they can do, you know, after losing their lanes, and there was still a little bit of hope when they popped their first primal split in the mid lane.
Yep.
But after that, they chose to
Fight again.
Fight again, even though they didn't have the primal split. I think after that engagement, the game was pretty much over.
So it sounds like you're saying, like, in the early game, I mean, I guess we're still pre-18 minutes, but pre-15 minutes, really their only tool outside of Ember just keeping
you
Searing Chains was
remember
just
the first gang they smoked towards mid lane, and it felt like the Lion was so desperate to get the kill. It was what, level 4, and they tried to gank the Punk. That's what they were feeling, and what I was mentioning about when they lost the top and bot lane. There's nothing much you could do with the supports. It's either you go stack or you try to make a play in the mid lane, and Ember is the one that you want to help the most. But when the gank didn't happen the first time, and they were so desperate to make it work that they stayed there even after the smoke broke.
yeah, I mean, it's been
And
such
they fed away 2 kills, I think, or 1 or 2 kills during that engagement.
it's been such a rough game, Winter, that Team Malaysia, they actually still only have 3 of their neutral tier 1 items. That's how poorly they've been doing right now in terms of being able to find farm.
I mean, they can't even farm.
No, exactly.
There's
yeah.
no map for them.
There's very little map. I mean, no chance to contest the Roche. They're pushing out bottom because they know that's really the only tier 2 that stands.
I kind of like that the Puck actually ran the wheel this game because it helps amplify so much of their damage from the Soul Rip even, the Puck himself. Like everyone just dies so quickly with the Veil. Even the Razor's nuke, you know, it does so much. Because the enemy is so poor. So it takes a chunk of your HP with the Veil.
Oh, they will in fact jump it here right now onto the Ember Spirit. He didn't get the Flame Guard off, and down he goes. BKB active here for the Razor means he is quite literally unstoppable. Lycan just chewing through your top lane of barracks already. They will force him back at least with the Cursed Crown. We have at least a Primal Split, but without Ember Spirit for 30 seconds, and Riki only having himself a Diffusal Blade, there's not a lot of damage to go around, even if you can lock down these Team Thailand heroes. He just has to use the split. He really had no choice.
Who can he kill?
No one. Team Thailand, I mean, at least he lives. They're going to look for this Lycan, but I think they're just going to look at him as he's already way too tanky. Curse Crown stun finds too, but they're going to end up deleting the Willow. Everyone's full HP again, courtesy of that mech from the Undying, and in fact now nothing is stopping them from just running in. The buyback comes out from the Willow as the Ember Spirit has at least respawned naturally. Terrorize will catch 2, but after they put down the Brewmaster, he buys back, but without an ultimate, what can he really look to accomplish? They've got damage now onto the Razor. BKB coming online in 15 more seconds, but he still has that Aegis of Immortality. Finger of Death still not enough to put him down, as finally able to get him with the projectile out from the Willow. Good stun here onto Q. It looks like they'll finally end up getting a kill here, and in fact they will, but Clarity's come back. He has no more remnants, and his team is crumbling around him. That's the dieback on the Brewmaster, and another kill here onto the Ember Spirit, only in exchange for the Aegis and the Nyx Assassin. Willow looking for more, but BKB active now from Masa. Puck actually in trouble as Maestro will find him underneath the tier 2 tower, but that's... Oh no, Puck is actually still alive, pardon me. They're not going to be able to put down the Fairy, and that's going to be GG called in game 1. Team Thailand end up taking a very solid game.
Yeah, back of a very convincing draft and a very convincing play in the first 10-15 minutes. I would say everything they did in the game, it was almost perfect. So every other part of the game just felt easy for them. You know, after the first 10-15 minutes of the game, they took the towers, they had item advantage. That's basically snowballing your advantage from winning your lanes. You take all the tier 1s quickly, you get Roche, and everything just came naturally after that. Yeah,
and it looked like very clean, very convincing as well. The draft as well was a big issue, wasn't it? Team Thailand just instantly locking in the Lycan. Like they didn't really have any issues. I feel like perhaps if they were forced to go for the Lesh or something different, you know.
I mean, it wasn't so much about the Lycan. It was just like the Malaysian team. They saw the draft. Like I couldn't really see where they were going. They were like everywhere, and you could clearly see Thailand team. They had a plan. They're gonna play quick. They have tower damage. They have team fight. They drafted for good lanes. You know, lane matchups, and everything was gonna be simple from the laning phase itself. You know, and Team Malaysia, they kind of felt like I'm not very sure where they were going with all these picks when they were picking the Riki after seeing the counters, then the Ember as well. There's so many heroes that can actually deal with their heroes that they picked later. I mean, the Brewmaster was quite understandable because he got countered when he was picked early, so that was acceptable. But the other 2 picks, they were not.
Yeah, we'll see. There's not a whole lot of space made for basically anyone to farm on Team Malaysia. We'll see if they can get themselves a better draft for Game 2. You guys are watching the SEAEF Federation Championship 2021, organized by THAI-ESPORTS and sponsored by #SeaEF and Winter on the call. We'll be back with you guys for Game 2 in just about 5 to 10 minutes. We'll catch you then. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the SEAEF Federation Championships. We are midway through our first series of the day. Team Thailand currently up 1-0 versus Team Malaysia. SEAEF and Winter on the call. Winter, briefly, if people are just tuning in, explain what happened in game number 1. What happened?
They killed our towers. They killed our base too quickly before we could do anything. All right, just kidding. Draft issues. I mean, you lose your lanes, and you don't really have much to deal with the Lycan because of the draft. And I think it's just basically it. The only way I would be able to see the Team Malaysia able to fend off that Lycan push was if they did way better in the laning phase. Then maybe I could see a way. You know, they could defend their tier 1 towers, get some early levels better.
Yeah.
But that didn't happen in the game.
No, it did not. We'll see here what Team Thailand, playing with 4 players, of course, of Motivate Trust Gaming, are going to throw. Because last time it was kind of the early, not quite all in, but, you know, Puck going for that early Veil, right?
I thought Veil was really nice.
I agree. Yeah. You know, the early mech as well, which is super strong early and then kind of falls off a little bit more late game. Like, everything was really nice from Team Thailand here. We'll see if they're going to look to keep that same kind of tempo or play it a little bit differently as we get underway with our second draft here. Already pretty deep into the draft. Well, tell me what your thoughts are so far about the opening here from Team Thailand specifically.
Well, Team Thailand has you know, this kind of combos. Usually when you see the second pick team, they tend to pick all these kind of dual heroes, like combo heroes in the first two picks. Like the previous game, Team Malaysia went for the Brew plus Dark Willow. This time, Team Thailand went for Darkseer plus Nyx. Team Malaysia, on the other hand, has a much. I feel like this time it's a much more versatile opening. You have team fight, you have wave clear, you have some damage, you know, from Snapfire. So everything feels much easier to draft around. You know, the first 2 picks are always the point where I like to talk about how much options that you open up for your next 2 picks. You know, in the draft, you know, you have to have something that is more that's more general, that can be equipped in a lot of different types of strategies. Because Dota right now, you have to be able to adapt the picks, the first 2 picks especially. If you can't do that, it's very likely that you get outdrafted or outmaneuvered in the laning phase. I feel like this is something that most of the better teams are doing really well, having all those flex picks, or at least some cores that can be played in multiple lanes. Those are pretty important factors when you're looking at the draft right now. And apart from that, talking about the strategy, I kind of feel like Dota has reached a point where I feel like if you are playing a 4 protect 1 strat and compared to a team that is playing like first strike Dota or offensive Dota, if you want to say it that way, I feel like playing the 4 protect 1 is you're gonna be having a hard time right now. It's a lot harder to defend your map and to wait for a carry to become fat. It's more easy to play the game where you have this carry that helps your teammates get rich, if I'm explaining it correct. So you need to make moves. The game is going to be around you as a carry player, and you're going to help your team.
Yeah.
Instead of your team just throwing bodies and making space for you to farm.
Exactly. Like when we saw like this Medusa and even PL, your super ultra late game carries come into play, and even now Spectre, right? It's with these early game items, right? Ags on Medusa
Falcon
and Spectre,
Blade.
Falcon Blade,
Yeah.
right? Who's my other example I just brought up there? I already forgot, but like
PL.
it's PL
Yeah.
with the Ag Shard and Aetherlens. Like it's all this early activation, making your own space. Because you're right, I don't think you can quite 4v1.
all this comes back to the point I mentioned in the previous game. The timings have been sped up because of the shard, the neutral items and everything. So the game has taken a very drastic change. You know, even though some players they don't really notice it, but when you look at a lot of the heroes, the same heroes that are being played now, they're built so differently. You know, like Tai is so strong because right now he's more centered. It's not just about the ravage. You know, it's about because the talents allow the gush to be played in a way where you get the talent, you get the gush talent, then you get the axe, then you become this annoying spellcaster in front, you know, and you're still tanky.
Yep.
And instead of before where Tidehunter is always being played as either I get a hood or mech, arcane boots, that's it, I get a blink later.
Blink later, force staff early.
Now the game is so different for Tide. You know, you get some games you get to buy a Helm of Dom. Some games you get to get a mech or a hood, whatever, it's better. Then some games you get to build the Aghanim's. You know, it's a pick that allows you to play the hero in so many different ways right now.
Yep.
So it really changed a lot when they alter all these talents, this axe, the shard, you know.
I will say though, I mean you've brought this up, and I completely agree with you, Winter, but it looks like Team Malaysia kind of gearing for maybe a 4 Protect 1 right now. This Gyrocopter pick, yes, he can be brought in early to fight, but his alternate playstyle is just maxing Flak Cannon and then going stats. Right, we have seen that a bit, and just looking to out-farm your enemies.
Yeah, but the thing is, Gyro is way more flexible than Ricky. You
True.
can fight well, you can clear stacks, you can obviously you can farm with your flat cannon and do whatever you want in the jungle. But at the end of the day, you need to have the option. Oh, if my team needs me, I can be there. You know, you don't want to be that hero that like AM. AM is the easiest example. Even if your team needs you, you can't really be there. You don't want to be there.
Yeah, I mean, have you seen AM with Ags actually?
Oh
pretty
yeah,
nice.
the new
blink.
axe is good.
Yeah, I mean, it's not amazing, right? I would rather have a gyrocopter with a homing missile. And
The traditional anti-mage, the only time you see an anti-mage in a fight in a 15-minute game is when the enemy team has like some storm or lash or DP and they don't have mana, and he comes in, oh guys, I get a double kill, mana void. But apart from that, you don't even see the AM in the game.
yeah, or if a support is, you know, just walking into his farming pattern and he cleans them up.
Yeah, this is a great storm game right now. They don't have proper catch for him. They have hook shot, they have ravage, but all those stuns are not very reliable against. I mean, the hook shot is fine, but everything else is not reliable against Storm. It's a good Storm pick.
Yeah, it is. We'll see what our Nature's Prophet wants to go for. Back when he used to be played.
Okay.
Actually, this is
I
a.
think he needs a. Is he a post fight?
This is a mid, isn't it?
Oh yeah, he's the mid player.
it's a
Yeah,
mid.
he's the mid player. Clarity.
I mean, I kind of like it, but it's for both of these heroes. To me, Winter, it feels like whoever gets Orchid first is just going to win the matchup.
I mean, the Storm doesn't really have to go Orchid first. He can go Eels first. I think it depends on
Oh, no.
how well the game is going.
I don't think you go Yules in this game at all for a Storm.
I mean, if you're having a shitty game, I think you have to go Eels first. If the Nature's Prophet is going to get Orchid faster than you, in most cases, you have to get a Eels first. You have to be able to know, oh, he has a better game than me, and then you have, because you can always buy
I mean,
you can always buy your items later if you're not sure, and see how the game goes.
I see that, but I would much rather see, if you know you're going to lose your like, if he's like, oh, I'm not going to beat him to Orchid, I'd much rather see him go like Sand
I mean,
and Kaya
if
first.
you look at the overall lineup, okay, who's gonna be stronger? If Tide has Ravage and Gyro is there, with the Snapfire, Mortimer's Kiss, they are definitely gonna be stronger in the team fight. You know, that's Nature's Prophet Ultimate. Before you get your BKBs on the Team Thailand side, I think you're probably not gonna be looking to fight with the Razor or even the Storm. You know, you want a game to be played in a way where there's a bit of delaying. After the delaying phase, you need to shuffle waves with Storm, Darkseer. You go for pickoffs with the Nyx. That's pretty much what you're going to be doing 10, 15, 20 minutes. And after you get your BKBs, then things will change. You decide which fights are the fights that you're going to be taking. So you're probably going to lose one or two of your tier 1s. You can't really defend it by nature of the strategy. But after that, when you get to your timing, you have to delay to your timing, then you're going to be able to start taking fights, you know. And it's going to be a question of, before you hit this BKB timing, how much have you lost? If you didn't really lose a lot, then you'll be fine. But if you lost a lot of the map before you hit this timing, then you're gonna struggle maybe even if you get your BKBs.
Prepare for battle.
All right, we'll see here how it goes. We'll see how it goes. I definitely agree with you on that. And something that's a little bit spooky here as well is it's going to be Fearless is, well, I don't know, probably more than 800th game on Storm Spirit here with his Master Tier Storm. So it's not the traditional mid lane matchup I think that a lot of Storms would face here with this Nature's Prophet. So I'm looking forward to see how he would deal with it. But
this matchup sounds fine on paper for him. You have the Remnants to last hit, deal some damage to the summons. I think the Treants won't be able to do so much.
oh, that's the ward scouted.
Yeah, because usually the MP mid, you can bully heroes that can't really, you don't have a good ways of last hitting creeps, you know. But Storm is not a hero. You have high armor as Storm, so you don't really get harassed as badly against the Treants and the Nature's Prophet right clicks. I think this matchup is totally fine for him.
That is true. Storm with one of the better stack gains as well for the mid laners.
Yeah, you would never
Good
think,
armor.
oh, intelligence hero, oh, he has 6 armor at level 1. Hello?
No, I mean that's a good point. I'll tell you what though, what I'm really liking about this Team Malaysia lineup a lot more than last game is that they can still fight very early. Before it was like if you don't have Primal Split or if it was misused, there was just no chance for you in these fights.
Yeah, they have a lot of small spells, I would say, like not very long cooldowns, yeah. Especially with the hook shot, so they can always go for like one pick off here, one pick off there. But on the other hand, when they have all their ultimates and they're standing together, they're gonna be a force, you know, in the game until Team Thailand has BKBs.
That's a interesting mid lane camp block. Nicely done. That may have been scouted, yeah, and in fact it was.
That's pretty smart.
Yeah.
And when you're playing against, actually most of the mid heroes, they can stack. Usually the way they play mid is like when you're going for the power runes, the water runes, you always try to stack the small camp along the way. I think this is a very, very smart move when you're playing against a hero that can clear the creeps easily.
Yeah, and actually Fearless is just kind of forced to tank these Treants, and with that Blightstone, even with that positive armor,
both
still
of the
hurts.
small camps are blocked.
Yeah, actually, good point. Something that they've both ended up doing.
Alright, clockwork, top.
Yeah, Q in some trouble. Masaro's trying to do whatever he can to keep him alive, but that will be first blood here. Clock gyro combo. It's you know the creeps using technology is gonna manage to overpower here the little beetle.
Yeah, welcome to the 21st century.
Yeah, exactly. Flights and robot suit. Nice last hit there as well, being secured by the Snapfire. Going for this ever so annoying build of the Blightstone with Lil Shredder level 1. You add this in with Gush minus armor, and no one is going to be able to really contest you for creeps in this lane.
Yeah, that's true. That's a very potent combination. And there we go, Gush.
Oh, yeah. Oh, Boom Bell.
Oh, is he just dead?
He's dead. It's so much damage.
He was not expecting that.
What is that? What is that minus armor? It's -5, -7.
Yeah, do your NA
minus 10. It's
Do your
minus
NA
10
match.
armor at level 1, bro. What do you do? You're a disruptor.
Get a ring of protection.
You don't live through that. You don't live through that, unfortunately. Not if you're disruptor.
Yeah, they just have to use their advantage where they just need to focus on last hitting because their heroes are better when they're around creeps, and you have Razor next to the disruptor. We see an attempted kill there. He missed the cookie, but there's a creep wave coming to the tower, so the Tide's gonna just want to, you know, try to take as much last hits as possible. You're still fairly weak, you know, before you scale your Kraken Shell, so you might want to be careful before you hit like level 3, level 4. You're still pretty much killable in the lane.
Yeah, in mid lane, actually, Fearless is doing a great job here. He's starting to kind of run away with it.
Destroying him?
Yeah, I mean, you'd have to think a couple of these last hits are going to be from the Treants.
Still, you
but
know?
yeah, exactly. But still, I mean, that money's still good. Right?
Yeah.
Shopkeeper, he'll take that gold even if it's a little bit less than a creep.
You know what happens when the storm is rich? You're gonna have a lot of problems. He's one of those mid heroes where I think he's one of the worst ones that you want to give a snowball to.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I would agree. You know, I think of Storm Spirit. I mean, I grew up watching Sumail basically on Dota 2, right? You gave him a good start, and
It's
oh man,
pretty much GG after that.
yeah, they would regret it. They would regret it, and especially because Dota's it's a lot more recoverable these days, which kind of makes it a little bit more difficult. Because before, you know, the enemies would gank us 5 and kill Storm once or twice, and his game was kind of over. But now it's not really the same kind of game.
And this game is like they don't really have good heroes to catch the storm, you know. Apart from like maybe the Nature's Prophet getting a quick orchid, but they don't really have good tools to gank him. So the storm is more or less gonna have a very, very good early game.
Yeah, top lane as well is going quite swimmingly for Team Malaysia, not only in terms of CS, but kind of in terms of keeping the Darkseer a little bit out.
Darkseer? Well, he's going for it.
Oh, yeah?
He's actually going for it.
That's okay. Well, I mean, I respect the play, but it was a little bit of a difficult task. I mean, it's space, though, for the gyrocopter, which is exactly what I was saying, because
you're so nice.
He's keeping up.
Today you're so nice.
Oh, bottom lane, though. There's that minus armor for Boom Bell.
Okay, they are not nice.
No, they are not nice down here. I mean, he just has to be so careful, doesn't he? Because I mean, killing the Razor is a bit of a tough ask, as he's going to actually steal a little bit of damage.
He's totally underestimating that lane. I mean, I understand that the core-to-core matchup in the lane, for last hits, the Tide is going to definitely lose out on the Razor, but they have to, sometimes you just have to be contented in Dota. You're getting the last hits, you have to be happy.
Yep.
If you try to get more than that, then you're going to pay.
Exactly. You're just trying to overreach a little bit too much here, as they're going to try mid lane now onto Clarity.
Glimpse.
TPs are coming in from both supports here, and they're going to lock in Boom Bell. Cookie Stun will find the two of them, and there's all that minus armor. Blightstones don't stack, but all that right-click damage sure will. Top lane, though, they're going to use this opportunity, Winter, with both supports TPing mid lane to get a pretty big kill here onto the gyrocopter. This is going to be some big damage onto his tower.
The Clockwork went away from the lane for some reason, and he wasn't really stacking, so not sure what happened there.
Yeah, he TP'd mid to defend.
Oh,
yeah.
did he? Okay.
I mean, he wasn't needed, though, right? It was just Snapfire to make that play.
Yeah, at the highest level of play, all these small little miscalculations, even though sometimes it might seem as it doesn't hurt you, you know, like you TP one extra hero when you don't need to, but when you take a closer look at the game, it does affect you one way or the other. So
no, absolutely.
The best teams, they only TP enough heroes.
Yeah. Yeah, that was a little bit
only what they need, you know.
Really, just the Snapfire was needed there, because there was no way they were going to kill the Storm, not without Hookshot, but of course it's 5 minutes in.
This Disruptor is just having a nightmare of a start.
And he is. No boots, and without boots, he's going to be pretty easy food here for this cookie combo basically all game. Storm, by the way, I believe he's TP top, so let's go ahead and catch that, as they're going to look again for a second kill onto the gyrocopter. Nice. He will drop. Not really much he could have done there. Big Wrath of Nature, but not going to do too much in terms of getting kills, but Clarity is doing mega damage here to this mid-tier 1.
This is the first move of the game. The Storm had a good early game, so he's able to dictate play. He's going to come back to defend mid lane. Cloud here catching the Disruptor once again. Man, give him a break.
No.
Give him a break.
I think this tower is going to go down.
Nice dead with the catapult.
-5 armor, -7 onto the structure here is going to really end up hurting.
That's a huge price to pay, even though he killed the gyro, but that was a huge price to pay.
Yeah, because that was the lane that was going actually pretty nicely here for the Storm Spirit. So now Fearless, he's going to be a little bit challenged. Really, anyone's going to be actually challenged.
This is a little bit of a similar thing when you have Puck in the game. People would always pick Dragon Knight. It's not just for the counter, you know, because the instant stun. It's also more for, because there's a Puck's like Storm, you know, when you get an advantage in lane, you want to rotate when you have your spells, you want to gank. But when you're playing against a Nature's Prophet, like the Nature's Prophet is like a DK. He can take your tower when you rotate. And even though you get a kill, but you get punished, and I feel like you're happy, you know, because you get the mid-tier 1. That's probably the most important tier 1 in the game for you.
It is, yeah. They're going to lose the top tier 1, as of course this Darkseer now with almost maxed Iron Shell is going to be able to nuke these waves. They're looking for bottom though.
Gyro is rotating over to open up the map. This is the kind of like carry play that I like to see now. You're helping your team. You're not just like sitting in the jungle. Hey guys, make some space. I'm not going to be coming over to the party for the next 20 minutes, and I wish you all the best of luck.
Yeah, and it's kind of this mixed build, right? He's gone 2-1-2 with the point in the ultimate, so he is ready to fight Winter.
Do you actually prefer the stats build more? I've seen that quite a bit also with the flag and stats.
I think it's very situational, of course, as everything in Dota is, but I think it actually could very well work this game.
Top lane.
Yeah, this is a big jump in from the Storm Spirit. The Wrath of Nature as well will force them back, as Clarity is forced to fight his own reflection, almost walking through that wall of replica a second time. But it's going to be an ulti or two in exchange for basically nothing.
It was I think what, 2-man rotation. They tried to TP 2 heroes, so and no one died, and space created. Bot lane, Razor's in trouble.
Oh,
Gosh,
this is huge. This tier 2 tower, he's not even safe here, as actually Clarity's going to TP on down bottom, and they'll find the kill.
Power of the Nature's Prophet, you know, he can be anywhere, anytime, and even your tier 2 is not your home anymore.
No, very true. Very true, yeah. Strength trades, and he's going to be making haste towards that Orchid Malevolence. Storm Spirit, he did go Soul Ring first. He's also going to look to put his own headway into this Orchid.
Who's going to get the Orchid first?
I reckon at this rate, especially with the way the Clockwork is now starting to bully Fearless here, although it might be going the other way around. Now there's going to be a Ravage coming through. They're still going to be able to get that kill. Cookie to follow up. There is no Scatter Blast here, so Fearless up to the high ground. He will go. Boombell trying to hold back the aggressors, and with that final glimpse, will be able to save the life of the Storm Spirits. And in fact, they might look to turn. Masaros is here. Q lands the stun, but there's going to be that Dispel. Oh, my damage, though. Not on the Max Dian Shell. That was melting him.
I mean, I was so surprised that he even tried to Anchor Smash there. The Nick still had Carapace. That was so risky. He could have just died there. But anyway, I mean, that was a miscommunication there probably. Maybe if they timed their spells, they layered their stuns better, they would have been able to kill the Storm. But that was Ravage expanded. Storm didn't die, so that's pretty bad for them.
Nice stun there by Q. They're still continuing to chase. Masaros, though, will scare him off. Triple null tally build with this chip vest. This is a tanky Darkseer.
So now the Razor's out of the dead lane. He knows he can't really play there, so Disruptor is taking over that space to get his level 6 almost there. And at this point, like I said during the draft, Thailand team is going to be looking more towards getting pickoffs until they get their BKB, their next timing, you know.
Oh, they might just get a kill here. Cookie at the ready. Boombell trying to dodge it. Tier 2 tower easily shrugged off there by the Tide. Although he is trapped here, taking a bit more damage than he probably gambled for. As the Storm Spirit Fearless will jump in there. Kill ends up going there to Q, but still the assist gold is just as good. As I was wondering, Clockwork was really starting to fight over this ward spot. I'm surprised he decided it was worth dying over.
Oh, do they see the Ducks here? Does he have a Quelling Blade?
Yes. He does. He will be out of there, luckily for him.
Yeah, the thing is, I feel like the way they're playing the map, bro, I feel like with this lineup, it's more suitable for Darkseer to be at the bottom lane, you know. Like the Disruptor he can't really take more than one wave, you know, even though he needs the level 6. But it's so difficult as a support in this kind of game where there's an MP tipping, even though he has a Quelling Blade on the Disruptor. But you can always die so easily. And Darkseer can push out the waves without really risking your life, you know, with the Iron Shell.
Yeah, you just push Iron Shell, continue to farm. He is going to be going up for this Ag Scepter, so upgrade Iron Shell coming.
They might be looking for a kill here.
Q is going to be able to scout some rotations, though, as they will
him.
scout a couple. Better vision, though, right now by Team Thailand. There's going to be that Rocket Flare zoning out Team Thailand for a bit. Malaysia.
That's a sentry.
Now they have eyes on him. Will it matter, though? They're holding down this Tide Runner. Now the ultimate Static Storm is activated to make sure Ravage doesn't come out. Kisses cancel there. Hookshot dodged as well, but it's not going to matter. Fearless still drops. He's going to get the kill onto the Clockwork before he goes. So that's still going to be a 2-for-1 trade here in favor of Team Malaysia.
You saw the power there with the call down, MP ultimate, and the Mortimer's case. They deal so much. Even without the Ravage, so they were able to win that engagement fairly easily. The Ravage was like what 3 seconds on cooldown, but he was silenced in the static storm anyway.
They're gonna try and defend this.
Being way too aggressive here, you know, like he's gonna feed away his life.
Okay, he's gonna end up popping Ravage. We have a Surge and a Vacuum,
he's still
so
he's still dying.
Can't TP. Yeah, and he is going to die, and they don't even get the tower here for this either,
TP?
Winter. Nah, with Vacuum.
Yeah, that Vacuum, man. I always forget about that spell.
It is a stun, technically.
I mean, the spell used to be so shitty that you don't really skill it, but things have changed so much with Vacuum. You know, you always it's very common to see Vacuum in the lane, or at one point in the lane, because it's so good
for the kill potential.
Yeah.
I think this lane was a little bit too difficult for them, but I think in most other lanes, I would definitely agree with you. That is a strong ability. Are you gonna pop this Arcane and farm?
So how is the Orchid race going on? MP does MP have it? Yeah, MP just got it.
Yep.
So Storm is...
He's still one component away, isn't he? Yeah.
Yeah, because he got the Soul Ring first.
He did. He's got this Arcane Rune, so he can catch up pretty quickly if he wants to use it to farm his top lane. They're going for a kill now onto the Razor. It's really just the Clockwork now, assisted by Clarity. There's going to be the reveal of the Orchid Razor pretty fast, though. That 1 point in the Storm Surge.
Is he going to be able to juke this out?
Oh, here he goes, trying to run away.
TP?
Call down is going to find him. They don't have vision, and he's off.
Fancy footwork again.
And look,
he doesn't really have foot.
Yeah, the smoke immediately comes from Team Thailand as they're going to look to try and punish that.
Okay, they have an Arcane Rune. They definitely saw the Orchid, so they're going to be very well aware of this on the MP. The Storm just needs to be careful that he doesn't go in first and get silenced.
Yep. Okay, smoke on smoke action here as they're going to do the toilet bowl maneuver, but it looks like Miestro's going to be the target instead. Yabs turning back around as the kiss is starting to rain down. A great static storm, though, traps the both of
nice
them.
carry
As now Fearless is going to be able to just dish out so much damage. He's hit, though, by the Orchid and trapped inside the cog, so it's going to be a one-for-one trade.
1-for-1 carry for mid.
Yeah.
I think you feel worse if you're the Storm.
And actually, they're still going. It looks like they're feeling strong enough. Whoa,
What the heck? What was that damage?
That is a max little shredder, my friend. Wow.
I'm pretty sure he did not even expect it.
I mean, he might have. He did turn around specifically for that kill, didn't he? Look at that, 1,000 damage.
No, I mean the Knicks.
No, I know, but 1,000 damage was pretty ridiculous.
1k damage just like that with a medallion.
The kiss is 500, 600 basically from Medallion and Little Shredder. Strong ability, but yeah, the Storm ends up taking a dive there as he is caught by that Orchid. The rotation coming from the Furion. It's a little bit tricky, right? Because you take a fight around the outpost and you expect those TPs to last 8 seconds, but with Furion, it's what, 3 instead?
Yeah, this is why it's always better to be on the offense, you know. That's why I always prefer, right now, with how the game has changed, it's always better that you have a draft that allows you to go on the front foot. You don't want to be playing catch-up. You want to be the one forcing your opponent, oh, we have to run away from them, you know. We can't fight them. We lost the lanes, or we didn't do so well in the lanes, and we have to just keep running away. It's not fun playing Dota like that.
Cheeky cogs here from Team Malaysia, just to keep him at bay. That'll burn plenty of mana out from Masaros.
Duxia's rushing Ags. Razor has BKB in 300 gold.
First item BKB. Well,
I mean, he needs it. He needs
Yeah.
it. It's definitely good. Very, very good this game.
Mid. I hear an Orchid. They found the Storm yet again. Clarity's going to be assisted by the hook shot here. Ravage even just to guarantee the kill. And down goes Storm.
Think they needed that Ravage. But, you know, a kill is a kill.
Kill is a kill, and that is...
Can we just go Roche now?
Yeah, that's
maybe if they had Ravage, you would be confident going Roche. They have this little Shredder and the Medallion. And Gush. Roche is actually so easy to kill.
Yeah, yeah. Medallion, Little Shredder. I think we still have a
even
Blightstone.
Clockwork is a good, it does a good amount of damage with the battery assault.
Yep.
Oh, Clockwork.
Yeah, Wrath of Nature into now the kisses. Oh, the Force Staff is good, but not good enough here for Q. As although he does get away from the Clockwork, he falls regardless. We have a glimpse. We had a glimpse, right?
He had a glimpse for sure.
Maybe a little bit of a misplay there, unfortunately. Maybe they just lost vision at nighttime. Either way, it's going to be a one-for-one trade. Kisses in exchange, though.
Blinded by darkness.
Blinded by darkness. The Fog of War. Very elusive here. Okay, this might be a bit risky for our Tide Hunter.
They can't kill him, for sure.
Yeah.
Way too tanky.
Full Solar Crest now, actually, by Snapfire.
Wow, he's so rich.
Yeah. I mean, it is a cheap item now these days, right? Still less than 4K net worth, but yeah, good farm. Good farm.
I mean, it's not easy to farm when you don't have Scatter Blast.
That is, you know what, that's a good point. That's a really good point. No points in Scatter Blast here. Going into the Blink Dagger next.
I mean, he does have 5 kills. I'll give him that.
Yeah, I mean, it's not bad when teams are fighting early and kisses are running down, but a much closer game here compared to game 1.
You don't really see a lot of Snapfires played like this nowadays. I see a lot more going for the shard and the dagger so that you can chain stun the enemy hero.
Well, maybe it'll
This
kind of
game is
transition
good because
into
of the lane. Because you're laning with a Tide, you have a lot of kill potential.
Radiant's bottom tower
I think we might transition into that, though, actually, is what I was saying. Because I think early game, this is pretty bonkers, because especially for how cheap Medallion is and how good Little Shredder is in the early game, especially with Gush. I mean, my goodness, it's so strong. I am surprised they haven't been able to Roche with this yet, though. It seems like right now they're probably just waiting for their ultis to line up.
They missed their chance. I felt like they could have done it just now. Oh, Orchid on Orchid action.
But this is a losing matchup for Storm, and he's dying to creeps.
Who's dying, dude?
Q is coming on in. There's good damage. They don't have the Vendetta attack, but they won't need it as finally it's going to be Fearless coming out on top of this 1v1 matchup. Well, 3v1, but...
Have you heard, Richie? Strength in numbers.
Strength in numbers.
You don't fight alone, you know?
No strength heroes, though, Winter. Explain?
Strength hero, strength hero.
0 numbers. 0 strength for Team Thailand right now.
Okay, you win. I lose.
Bottom. What's going on here? We have got a Ravage. Certainly we do. In fact, we're going to let it rip. Nice hook shot. We're going to try and lock down Boom Bell. Down he will go, preventing the Static Storm from coming out. That should allow them to pretty easily pick up the rest, as in comes in Fearless, looking for the Gyrocopter first, and in fact, they've got him locked down, silenced, and killed off. It's Illusion as well. It's doing some pretty decent damage here to the Tidehunter. Yaps is going down to the tower as Fearless chasing down the Snapfire, as they will be able to just barely nick that Clockwork with the static or with the plasma field.
That's a big win for Team Thailand. That was definitely like a strong timing for Team Malaysia, having all those ultimates up.
I'm shocked that they decided to fight without...
The Razor didn't even have to use his BKB.
NP was dead.
Yeah, he ran into the fight. Hello guys, I have a BKB, but I don't even have to use it, and we still win the fight.
I feel like that fight would have gone a lot better if they waited literally 5 seconds, because then NP's alive, he TP's into the fight.
Yeah, even though the Ravage hit 4 heroes, they ravaged 4 heroes, but without the MP's ultimate and the right clicks.
The damage just wasn't there, was it? And now we've got Ags at least for our Gyrocopter.
Yeah, I think the Snapfire ultimate was on cooldown. I wasn't too sure. Maybe if they had the kisses, they would have enough damage to finish the heroes off. But either way, like you said, like taking a fight without your most farm hero, not a very smart move.
Nope, I agree with you. So it's BKB next for both of our mid laners as we continue to compare and contrast the two. Nice hook shot there. It's going to find 2 in the cogs. Pulled back on in, though. Vacuum Impale's good enough for the double kill here onto both supports. And that'll be the mid-tier 1 mid-tier 1 tower falling to boot. As Team Thailand with a bit of wind underneath their sails now, Winter might even look for more. No, just another wave. But as I was saying, we have BKB for our Furion finished up. After that double kill, I think it's going to be BKB, pretty close to completed as well here for Fearless. In fact, he's going to look for a sneaky play top lane, but he's going to have no chance versus this Nature's Prophet.
Yep, but the thing is, I think if the longer the game goes, it's just going to make the Storm a lot stronger right now. Even though all the cores are going to have their BKBs in a short bit, but this is going to be definitely more favorable for Team Thailand. And I felt like the first 10-15 minutes, I said that they have to survive and try to dodge against all these big team fights until they have the BKB. And if they don't really lose too much ground in the first 15-20 minutes, they're going to be in a very good position in the game. And right now, they're 1k goal ahead. So that's pretty good for them. Even if they're 1k goal behind, I still think it's pretty good.
I mean, he can just TP. No, this time we have a glimpse. Yep, all right.
Greed.
Yeah, that was greed. He just... I don't know why. Yeah, I don't know why. That was kind of an unnecessary death here, unfortunately. Space for top lane, I suppose, as the tower goes down.
His team was like nowhere around him. He was just way too greedy. He just needed to join his team.
He was so close to blink as well. He was right there. Winter Kisses coming down because they've caught one inside the cogs. Hookshot to keep him trapped a little bit longer as Static Storm and Kinetic Field both drop to keep him away. That's Rocket, Homing Missile not enough, but the Rocket Flare will be able to finish him off as the fight breaking out in the backline. BKB now activated on the Furion as well as our Razor. And Maestro trying to stand his ground and fight, but not enough physical damage here. That BKB for Razor allows him to withstand through all of that magical.
Whose BKB is better here, man?
And they're not done. As this is, going to be a kill, most likely. Nice job there, reflecting the damage on the cogs, and that'll be another kill then. 3 for 0, I want to say, here in favor of Team Thailand.
They're going to have a lot more problems right now. The Storm is going to finish his BKB soon. And how are you going to touch him in the fights? They have to try to, if they want to kill him, it's going to be like a hook shot, push back with the cogs, and maybe follow up with a Ravage or the stun from the Snapfire. It's going to be hard to pull off.
Yeah, and it needs to be basically perfectly in line, doesn't it? Because if he gets his BKB off, there's just no chance.
You're basically screwed. If you use your combo and you don't kill him, he gets his BKB off. And imagine if the Darkseid vacuums into the Static Storm and the next stun. GG. Yep. That sounds like GG.
Team Thailand already kind of on the prowl here. As they'll head right down mid lane.
They have the BKB on Storm. There's no reason for them to not want to fight. Yeah, this 1k lead is actually so deceiving, you know. The lead is actually way bigger because of how the lineups work.
Oh no, they're going to catch this gyro as well. The Camp of Death, it comes for him. It's not going to wait.
The Camp of Death.
I see so many carries die trying to farm this camp. He'll at least get the farm with that second homing missile, or sorry, rocket barrage, but he's going to pay heavily for it. As in they go even more aggressively. There is a
the glimpse.
nice, the pull. The glimpse both used here into the static storm just to make sure they get the kill. They cancel the TP of the Snapfire as well. It's going to try and return at least and find Boombell, but not a chance here. Cookie Stun will find him, but he will be ran down by the Mass Illusion Army. 3 quick kills here for Team Thailand.
Radiant's top tower is under attack.
I mean, the issue was they were making this play, the bot push play, but the mid lane was all the way up to their tower. So it's pretty obvious that they are not going to have a lot of heroes there, even though MPU can TP from top lane, but one hero was definitely missing the Clockwork. So Team Thailand sees the Clockwork mid. Okay guys, their ammos are going to be 3+1 at bot. Just smoke bottom. They get like you said, the death camp. the carry farming that camp.
That's the camp of death, I tell you. I see so many carries die to this camp all the time. It's so deceiving because you have a tier 1 tower for your allies to beat you.
I mean, the thing is, I felt like he was in the place where he should be. You know, he cleared the ancients. He was walking over there. The main problem was the mid lane wasn't pushed up. It wasn't taken care of. And you have an MP in the game. You know, it's no reason that when you're making all these kind of moves, that there should be a lane pushing towards your tier 2. You know, it gives way too much information to your opponent. I think if the lane is not pushed out like this. As the Radiant team, you would think a lot more before you make that move.
Oh, no, they caught the Tide Hunter as well, and they even continue the static link perfectly into the stun. No chance for him. Yeah, and what was especially, I think, a little bit depressing for Team Malaysia there is in that span where they lost 3 heroes, you didn't force out a BKB charge from our Storm, nor did we force out that second charge from Razor. They were just kind of free kills for them. Didn't have to use that big long duration team fight BKB, and that's going to make the next fight even scarier for Team Malaysia as they're now down 5k.
Wow, the MP actually went for a halberd. Very interesting. It's pretty useful. Does it stop the auto attacks from the stagger link?
No.
I don't think so, right?
It does not. Those attacks continue even if you're in a chronosphere. Or a black hole even. Even if you're in both. Nothing's going to really stop those. It's much how like you cannot stop the side gunner from attacking you either.
It's rather strange trying to get a halberd there.
Yeah, I don't quite see it either. And in fact, they're not going to get this tower. I think they're just shy. Because there's smoke play into the enemy triangle. They're going to find at least a small ancient stack. Oh, but they've got, yet again, this gyrocopter. They're going to TP on in a couple of heroes. Yeah, it is the death camp. It's just on the other side of the map, right? It's the map mirrored. And look at this. It's all starting to fall apart now for Team Malaysia. They're going to at least look for Boombell as Fearless just goes right on in. That's all of his mana, but BKB still available. Has a little bit left, trying for this kill here. Onto the Clockwork, will find him and even manages to escape as Clarity is going to be looking to turn. The BKB does not end soon enough, so Ravage doesn't even catch the Storm Spirit. And Malaysia, they've just scattered to the wind. Huga running for his life, brought back by the glimpse, and that'll certainly be him going down as they scout him out with the Sentry Ward, and it's 3 dead here. Once again, Malaysia just, they can't quite seem to find a fight that looks right for them.
Yeah, the communication part is definitely lacking there, you know, how they're coordinating their heroes, Gyro getting caught again. I mean, he was kind of near his team, but I felt like the way he was playing, he needed to be more careful, you know, because when you're playing against the Nyx, even though you don't see him, you have to anticipate where he's going, you know. Because when you play a game normally as a carry against these kind of invisible heroes, you tend to get caught a lot more if you're not playing like preemptively expecting where the Nyx is going to gank you next.
Oh no, that's a huge kill onto Fury, and they weren't expecting the Nyx assassin to be there, and he's going to go down to the right clicks of Fearless. They're looking for more because they know that they've basically burst through the length of the side runner already.
Like what I'm saying, you know, when you're playing against Nyx, you know, you can't just let him get. He's getting the pickoffs. I understand that you're going to get a 1 or 2 pickoffs, but they're letting it happen way too easily. There's not enough sentries on the map. The way the carry is farming is like you're not expecting the Nyx to gank you, you know. Like when you're playing against Nyx, you have to sometimes alter your farm patterns, you know. Some carries, they are quite stubborn in altering their patterns, but in some games you have to do it, because if you do things normally, like how you do it, you're going to get caught by this kind of Nyx hero.
The line changes, and especially when you have
the line. Oh, you remember the line?
And especially when you have like this, like a very strong combo with this, right? A Storm to immediately zip on in.
You're basically dead if you get caught.
Yeah. Yeah, they're already going to be there. There's Blink Dagger at least finished. My goodness, Q though, he's going to show off his own Blink Dagger. Whoa, right on in. Another static Link here, almost full duration basically. As they prevent him from getting off the Anchor Smash, he's going to die. Had no Ravage to use anyways. They're going to hit this Clockwork now with the Bullwhip. Silenced up, at least drops the Cogs. And Boombell as well in a very aggressive position. Has at least found himself a Gyrocopter in exchange for his own life. And he's going to go down just as fast. Clarity's now going to TP on in, trying to at least find a kill onto the Razor. But he's not even scared. Just uses the Quelling Blade. Even had a BKB if he needed it. Storm even has his own BKB.
He knows he can't die without the Gyro. Gyro is the only one that can do enough physical damage right now to kill him.
Gyro's just desperately trying to finish off this BKB as well. He's just falling so quickly. So basically, they're just the supports locking him down and Storm jumping right on top of him.
Yeah, that's why it was very weird that the MP actually went for a defensive item. You know, BKB is already a defensive item, but you need it. And I felt like he just needed to go all out damage, you know. Like his team is just lacking so much damage, right? He's so farmed, but when he's not around, and even right now when he's around, he doesn't do enough damage because of the build that he went for. Like way too defensive.
Yep.
Sometimes you just got to, you know, go all for all or nothing.
And he's gone for this Bloodthorn before, I don't know, finishing a Deso or Stats or something like that. But it's right now, I mean, that's going to help him kill supports and I guess the Darkseer, but that's not going to help you kill this Razor or Storm because they just have BKB to dispel that. So, yeah, I mean, not to just pile on and always criticize a build because I think there's, you know, always room for experimentation in terms of builds, but yeah, I don't know if I necessarily think this is the right one for this game, is that the Tide will be allowed to TP away. And it looks like even, Snapfire trying his best to escape. Maestro farming in the vicinity as they will get that kill then onto the Snapfire.
The Carapace, they see him.
Yeah, they know he's nearby. Pings are coming through. Not exactly sure where he's been farming. It looks like he will just be able to escape this time around.
Yeah, maybe if the Gyro was like, he was a bit richer, he was having a better game, you can get away with the build, you know, with MP. But in this game, they definitely can't. They don't have enough damage.
Yeah, right now it's just split push is the name of the game here for Team Malaysia to try and delay this one a bit further. I like the Bloodthorn onto the range creep just to make sure it dies.
Yeah, but even if you delay the game, it doesn't feel good for you because the Razor kind of can deal with your Gyro and there's a Storm to always catch. You're scared, you know, there's a Storm and Nyx in the game. If you're delaying the game, you're trying to split push, there's always going to be a huge risk that you die against Storm or Nyx.
I think they might have scouted here our Razor. Rocket Flares are up in 5 more seconds. We have a hook shot. He is a bit isolated, and there's TPs to this tier 2 tower. They're going to smoke. Smoke's going to break basically instantly, and Q is nearby to capitalize off the back of this one as well. They at least find the Sun on the one. Nice Ravage, but it's only going to delay the Storm Spirit. Did not catch the Razor, who immediately chops right through the Watermelon. There was no follow-up there, thanks to Q stopping everyone in their tracks. And there's even Clarity getting caught by the Spike Carapace vacuum into their death, as that's going to be 3 kills there for Fearless using the DD rune. And yeah, there was indeed a ward there, unfortunately. Gem as well has been fed on over.
Enemy has vision.
And that is just very, very tough here for Team Malaysia. It felt like that could have potentially been a good opening for them, but it completely just fell apart on them.
I mean, the Gyro didn't have BKB. Even if they were to take that fight, he had no BKB. He had no business going there.
Yeah.
It was a long shot.
And a very good counter initiation by Q as well to prevent any potential follow-up even onto the Storm Spirit. Razor had popped his BKB too fast there, wasn't affected by the Ravage, but even then, there was no way he was going to die either.
I mean, this game, the laning phase went far better for Team Malaysia compared to the previous game, but they just couldn't, you know, do what they need to do during the mid-game. How they're coordinating their heroes on the map, how they're farming. Just too many small individual mistakes, you know, getting caught out here and there. It affected their timing a lot, you know, even though the laning pace was great this game.
Yeah. Indeed. Now we're going for the Sheepstick on the Furion. I mean, if he can get that up, that will allow them to get these pickoffs that they so desperately need. But
they're going to be playing against Aegis.
Yeah, they will be, and that's going to be an issue.
This should have been their Aegis, you know. Remember when they got a pickoff? I think it was in the first 15 minutes. They got a pickoff there on Medallion on the Snapfire. They could have easily done Roche with Gush.
You know what it was, I think? It was the fact that they did get that pickoff, but they decided to use Ravage to secure it when it might have not
Oh
been
yeah,
necessary.
yeah, I remember.
And then without Ravage, it did feel
it was against the Storm.
correct. And with that, it just felt a little bit too hard, right? Like I wouldn't have wanted to risk it without a Ravage either. As well, there they go now onto the Snapfire. There's a gem, of course,
How
on
these
Storm.
little things matter so much.
No, absolutely. And Razor even, he's looking for more. 4-stat for Miestro, but he's going to be glimpsed back into place. BKB's popped, and Storm is going to be...
Oh, he didn't BKB TP?
No, he didn't. No, he did not.
Oh, boy.
I mean, by then it was too late as well, wasn't it? And look, I love this play here by the positions 3 and 4. Q and Masaros playing so well together. They know that Furion, he sees his team die bottom. He's going to immediately look to push top lane, and they're already here preventing that from happening. As there's going to be a quick pause from Team Thailand. No, but you're right back to that point. I mean, the small mistakes, you know, one miscalculation,
adds up,
even, right? It adds up, because I wouldn't even call it a misplay, because it's not like they missed the kill on the Storm. They did secure it with Ravage, whether or not it was ultimately necessary.
Yeah, at the highest level, all these small little things, it might seem like, oh, it's just a small pickoff, or it's just a very tiny little bit of a detail. But at the highest level of play, all these things matter a lot. You know, it's going to allow you to. It's like a domino effect sometimes. Because of this kill, it allowed B, C, D to happen.
Yep.
Otherwise, it would have taken a lot longer for that to happen.
And remind me again, because it was our Furion. He was winning earlier on in this game in terms of his matchup.
He killed the tier 1 tower like what, in the first, was it the
7 minutes?
First catapult wave, right?
Is under attack.
Oh, he was pretty fat. He got his orchid way earlier.
Exactly, and that's the point I was going to bring up. And now we see Storm instead really is already kind of overtaken him for farm. And even when a Furion is losing, it's not too rare to still see him kind of above, you know, a couple of cores. But he's now just been overtaken by the last of Team Thailand.
I mean, if you're a Furion and you're not far ahead enough, that's not good, you know. You have to be ahead. Like this here, he doesn't use the net worth as well as certain carries.
No, he doesn't. That gem paying dividends as well for Fearless as he jumps right on in to find an easy kill for him. That's I believe he has Ags, right? Yes, he does have Ags, so he's got that upgraded Electric Vortex, budget black hole as I like to call it. It's going to be
budget black hole?
Budget black hole, yeah. You've never seen it catch like 6 or 7 heroes at once? Well, not 6 or 7, but you know, a couple of heroes. Oh, he's going to go for... Oh, forces the BKB. Yeah, clearly he's just got a TP.
You're definitely a Sumail fanboy.
Yes.
Budget black hole.
Yes, it is. That is very true. My goodness. Vendetta, pure damage, chops right through that Hooded Defiance, and down goes Tidehunter. I mean, Clarity, he's trying his best. He's cut one wave bottom. He's cut one wave mid at the cost of his BKB now, but he is really running out of options in terms of delaying the game. And again, to use another Malay saying, you know, delay game for what?
Well, at some point, you have to take a fight. You can't be just running away forever.
Losing 2 lanes at the same time here. Storm just not concerned whatsoever with this Aegis still.
I mean, I felt like this game they played way better than the last game in the first 15 minutes.
All right. They've had a good touch onto the Storm. Nope, not good enough, unfortunately. Shadow Amulet, not good enough for Clarity either. This Gem of True Sight continuing to find pickoff after pickoff for Clarity, as that's going to be 3 kills. 70 seconds without the Furion either, as he did buy out, probably for the Blitz Knuckles, not the Shadow Amulets. Not going to save his life, and will not save the life of his tier 3 tower. And in fact, it looks like Team Malaysia is about to tap out of this series. It'll be the 2-0 win for them, as in they go. There's going to be a beautiful jump once again by the Storm Spirit into the Static Storm. He will go down. He's probably just going to lose his life to the... No, not to the tier 4s. He's going to hold on to life for now, of course, with this Aegis. Oh, no, they can't even... Oh, there they go. They finally got his first life, Winter. We have a Ravage as well. Will we be able to get it off in time? No. He's going to be silenced. Has, of course, the Dispel for himself. Can Ravage, and he's going to catch all 5, but not really a whole lot of follow-up to speak of. As into the fountain goes Fearless. He's going to find that 1 kill. Looks for the second as he zips and saps around. Does not miss uphill. And that is going to be a couple more kills for him. GG is dropped. And it's going to be Team Thailand taking the 2-0 victory.
Yeah, a well-deserved victory. Like the way they drafted, the way they played, they were clearly much more experienced than the Malaysian team. I mean, second game was a much better showing from Team Malaysia from the draft point of view in the first 15 minutes. But after that, I felt like they didn't really know how to move around the map. Heroes getting picked off left and right. Who is supposed to be farming what lane? Who's supposed to be pushing what wave and who's supposed to be moving and being together around. That wasn't handled very well for them, resulting in the Darkseer. Because when you're playing against Darkseer, when you have all these kind of small mismanagements, who's supposed to push out where, and the Iron Shell is going to eventually catch up to you. You know, they're going to be waves shuffling towards your tier 2, tier 1 before you know it, and a lot of the things that you're trying to achieve as a team moving around, they're going to fail because the creep waves are not dealt with.
Yeah, and even having someone like a Furion who can kind of mitigate that issue for you, right? Cut waves and passively push all the lanes and basically farm the map with his ultimate, still just wasn't enough for them. You know, it kind of, I feel like we went to it twice already. That woulda, coulda, shoulda, right? If you don't use Ravage, if you save Ravage and you do Roshan right after that pickoff onto Storm, when you had beat him to the Orchid, you know, who knows where the game goes from there.
Yeah, you have to understand, like, which part of the game your heroes are a lot stronger, you know. For Team Malaysia, they're going to be stronger for the first 10-15 minutes, and after they're accruing their advantage from the laning phase, which they had a good laning phase, they are supposed to transition into taking the tier 1s, which they did, and getting the Rosh. They got the mid tier 1, they got the bot tier 1, but they didn't move into Rosh. And they are supposed to have that advantage when they are going into the minute 20-25, when the Storm Razor, obviously they're going to have their BKBs up, and you're going to need the Aegis to fight against that.
Yep, exactly. Missed opportunity there for Team Malaysia, but big improvements, right, from game 1 to 2, draft-wise, and
much
as
better
well.
showing.
Yeah, even in the lane, right, kind of beating the crap out of Boombell down bottom. That poor Disruptor just did not have a game for the first 17 minutes, and then everything turned around from there for him. So good showing out from Team Thailand as they ultimately will win the series and head into this next round with a 2-0 win. You guys are watching the SEAEF Federation Championship organized by THAI-ESPORTS and sponsored by Hashtag. We've got another match coming up for you next. I believe we're staying within Group A, and I believe we're going to be watching Team Singapore next. I'm not quite sure, though, off the top of my head. So we'll be back soon in about 5 to 10 minutes with our next match of the day. Another best of 2 to figure out who's going to be moving on. Only the top 2 teams of each group are going to be going on to the single elimination playoff bracket winter for their shot at the grand prize pool, of course, of $35,000. So stick around, guys. We'll be back after a short break.